All right, let's just jump right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack a deeply emotional and honestly incredibly relatable narrative. Today, we're looking at a source that paints a very real, very modern picture of a struggle taking place in living rooms literally all across the world right now. It's a story titled Namaz or Mobile, and it directly tackles the intersection of our modern day screen addiction with the timeless call for spiritual awakening. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down the timeline of a specific household conflict, dig into the psychology of digital distraction, and ultimately look at a pathway to finding true peace.
So let me ask you something. Is your phone pulling you away from your loved ones too? It's a rhetorical question, sure, but I really want you to let that sink in for a second as we move through today's explainer. The source material actually uses this exact premise to bridge the gap between our everyday reality and the story we are about to explore. Because, let's be honest, we've all been there, right? Staring blankly at a glowing rectangle while the real world just kind of happens around us. This explainer uses the lens of Islamic spiritual duty to explore this universal tension, showing us exactly what happens when the digital world starts to totally eclipse the physical and spiritual one.
Okay, so starting off with part one, the screen addiction. Let's take a look at our main character here, Khalid. Now, the story goes out of its way to show he isn't a bad kid. Actually, he's described as a really good-hearted boy. But he's got a pretty bad habit. He's fallen into a severe behavioral loop. His days literally start and end bathed in the blue light of his mobile screen. His entire universe has tragically shrunk down to a few inches of glass. It's no longer about family or friends or faith. His world is completely, totally limited to games, online videos, and chasing high scores. It's this chaotic, noisy, digital existence that is slowly but surely isolating him from everything that actually matters. Which brings us right into section 2, the mother's call. The narrative walks us through a single, highly relatable day of procrastination, marked by the traditional Islamic calls to prayer. In the afternoon, during Zohar, the call to prayer echoes through the house. His mother gently reminds him, "Khalid, it's time to pray, put the phone down." His response? Without even looking away from the screen, he just mutters, "Just a minute, the level is ending." His mother stays quiet, but you know her heart sinks. Then comes the late afternoon, Asar. The reminder happens again, and guess what? The exact same excuse from Khalid. By the time evening falls for the Maghrib prayer, his mother's tone shifts. She warns him not to anger Allah. And Khalid, still completely entranced by his digital world, simply says, "Just one more level, then I'll read it." This timeline perfectly captures how an entire day can just slip away to that endless, deceptive trap of just 5 more minutes. Moving on to section 3, the breaking patience. At this point, the mother's patience finally shatters. Snatching the mobile phone right out of Khalid's hands, she delivers a truly heartbreaking question. If you don't pray, what face will you show Allah on the day of judgment? The narrative describes these words hitting Khalid's heart like an arrow. He falls completely silent, his eyes just dropping straight to the floor. The artificial, fast-paced urgency of his video game is instantly shattered by the monumental weight of his mother's grief and the sudden, stark spiritual reality of his actions. Right in the middle of this incredibly heavy silence, we hit section 4, the friend's advice. Enter Abdullah, Khalid's friend. He walks in, takes one look at the tense scene, and gently asks the mother if he can take Khalid outside to talk. So they walk out near the mosque. The sky is full of stars. There's this soft light glowing from the mosque, and Abdullah offers a really profound philosophical comparison. He points out that the mobile phone provides absolutely nothing but temporary joy. It's a fleeting, artificial hit of dopamine. In stark contrast, namaz, the act of prayer, provides lasting peace of the heart. He is drawing a hard, undeniable line between a cheap digital distraction and profound, enduring fulfillment. And Abdullah really drives the point home here. He says, namaz is meeting Allah. If we don't give Allah time, how will He help us? This profound realization just hits Khalid. Tears fill his eyes as he admits to Abdullah that he has caused his mother immense pain, and even worse, that he had completely forgotten his creator. It's a beautiful turning point moment of clarity for him. And that absolute clarity brings us to section 5, true repentance. Abdullah gives him a quick reminder. Allah is merciful and never turns away those who seek true repentance. Hearing this, Khalid immediately takes action to correct his path. He goes straight into the mosque, performs wuzu for ritual purification, and offers namaz with pure sincerity from the very bottom of his heart. Finally, he raises his hands and asks for forgiveness, promising that from this day forward, he will never let a prayer go to waste. It's a highly structured, deliberate return to his faith. He's consciously stepping away from the chaotic pixels of his phone and grounding himself in real-world, meaningful spiritual action. But, the spiritual repair isn't the end of the whole story. There is a relational repair that has to happen too. As soon as Cullen finishes his prayer, he goes straight home to his mother. And he doesn't just casually say sorry. He physically kisses her hands and offers a deeply, deeply sincere apology. He reiterates his promise never to miss a prayer again. And her reaction? Her previous grief is instantly replaced by pure happiness. She cries tears of joy, pulls her son into a warm hug, and prays for him to always stay on the right path. It completely diffuses all that tension we saw earlier in the day. This beautiful reconciliation leads us straight into our final chapter, Section 6, Namaz, Our Identity. The story leaves us with this final, incredibly powerful takeaway. Mobile can be our need, but namaz is our identity. It's actually a very pragmatic conclusion. The text isn't saying that technology is inherently evil, but it strongly warns against letting a tool become your entire world. The narrative argues that a screen is just a utility, while spiritual devotion and the time given to a creator are what define your true identity. So it leaves us with a pretty provocative question to consider. When you look at where you spend your hours every single day, are you investing in a temporary glow, or are you building a lasting peace? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.